Launch sequence activated.
It's the Joel Comm Show, featuring internet pioneer, New York Times best-selling author, and international speaker, Joel Comm. Helping you grow your business, live life today, and do good stuff. Here's the man who isn't afraid of flying monkeys, your host, Joel Comm.
I am so unafraid of those flying monkeys. In fact, I have one right here. Doesn't scare me. I mean, look at him. He's a friendly little guy. And he does his thing, and everybody's happy. Anyway, welcome to the show. So glad that you're here and super pumped for what we have for you today. Trying some new settings here on the podcast, and just want to make sure my audio levels are good. So if you guys in the chat room could just let me know that I sound marvelous, I would appreciate that. And if you'll look in the comment section, those of you who are here with us live, I've got a new thing that Michael Stelzner at Social Media Examiner showed me. If you'll click the tweet that I'm pasting right into the comments, it'll open up a window. When you tweet it, it'll tweet it with the image for the show. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and do it myself right now. It's pretty darn cool. We found a little workaround that with a little brain power does some pretty cool stuff. Anyway, those of you joining us, it is a Saturday afternoon, and this is a really cool show that I've got for you today because of my special guest, and only because of my special guest, and because he is so full of awesomeness. I met this guy last year at an event that we were both speaking at, and I found out that he not only is he a great businessman and a great teacher, but he has a heart of gold. He does a podcast that's called Every Day is Saturday. I immediately connected with that because for me, every day is the same as well. Now he's got a different reason that he calls it Every Day is Saturday, and we're gonna talk about that. But he also has a real powerful, impactful story that he's going to share with you today. And I'm going to invite him to go ahead and take a seat and come on in here. And I would like you to give a warm welcome with plenty of props to my friend, Mr. Sam Crowley. Sam, boom.
Joel Comm, what is up?
It's all you, my friend, and welcome to the show.
God, you're so weird. You're so weird. I mean, flying monkey, seriously, dude? Seriously.
You have flying monkey envy? It's a thing.
I do, yeah.
It's totally
awesome.
A thing, and if it's not a thing, it should be a thing, and it's part of my shtick.
I love it, man. Hey, it's great to be here. Only on a Saturday, right? Because every day is Saturday, Joel Comm.
Let's talk about that for a moment. And by the way, those of you who are joining Blab for the first time, this is Sam's first Blab, and he and I are going to talk for a little bit, going to share a real impactful story that I think you're going to find very moving, and that's why I want you to invite your followers and your tribe here. And then we're going to open up the seats so that we can all get together and have a conversation here on this Saturday afternoon. So, Sam, what is Every Day is Saturday?
Ooh, well, in 2004, my daughter Madeline, she used to ask me all the time, Daddy, is tomorrow Saturday? Daddy, is tomorrow Saturday? I was just a corporate slave, like, most people. And
Were you in a cubicle? Did you work in a...
I had a nice cubicle, Joel. I was a kind of an executive. So I'd appreciate it if you to refer to me as such, okay?
Yes, Mr. Executive, sir.
Ex-executive, actually. Soon to be bankrupt shortly thereafter, after I quit my job. But I guess we might get to that at some point. But anyway, so I said, Madeline, why do you keep asking me if every day is Saturday? Or why is tomorrow Saturday? Because it's the only time she got a chance to see me, and I was working 6 days a week. And Sunday, usually go in the office. She said, I wish every day would just be like the day that we can spend time together. So
aww.
Yeah, it kind of tugs at the heartstrings, and I'm pretty dense up top, but I got the message real quick. So I quit my job. That was the fall of 2004, And I quit in May 6, 2005. I told my boss, thank you very little. I'm out of the corporate grind. And he said, you can't quit. You're running the largest division in the company. I said, well, I kind of just did, but I don't know. What else do I need to do, man?
I quit.
Yeah. So in the meantime, I saw an infomercial, and I bought a Quiznos franchise. And I started Toasty, based out where you are, my friend, in Denver. Yep, headquartered out there. If they're still in business, I don't know. Anyway, went bankrupt, man. The Quiznos didn't really do so well. It kind of toasted me, and lost everything, man. It's just a terrible deal. I bought an existing one, but anyway, long story short, I went back to my boss and said, "Hey, how you doing, buddy? What's going on?
How you doing?
Can I have my old job back?" And he said, "Yeah, nah, not so much, but I'll pay you $39,000 and you can sit in a cubicle and do what you did 15 years ago when you started." I said, "All right." So I did that, but I started podcasting, and I launched the Everyday Saturday podcast. I didn't even know what a podcast was. I'm not really one of these techie guys like you, the father of the internet type thing.
Nerd.
That you portray yourself to be. So yeah.
Sheldon.
Yeah. So I started podcasting, and it was wild, man. First of all, nobody knew what podcasting. This was 2006. So I just started screaming into a microphone a lot like what I'm doing right now. And I didn't have a mic, though. I was just yelling into a Sony. I had it over there because we're putting it out on garbage night, actually, next week. A Sony that I was yelling into the built-in mic of, and podcasting, and people were listening from Australia and Asia and all over the place. I was like, this is the craziest damn thing I ever seen in my entire life. And few million downloads later, man, here we are, just preaching the Everyday Saturday gospel.
Yeah, and for you, every day is Saturday because you're kids, you want them to know that you're approachable and that they can come and play and hang out with you anytime. When you've been in business for yourself for as long as I have, and now you as well, every day really is the same. I don't ever say, "Oh no, it's Monday. Who's going to teach you to Mondays?" I don't ever say, "Thank God it's Friday." I don't ever go, "Woohoo, it's the weekend," because every day really is the same. And some weekends we work and play during the week, and then some weekends we play. And it's just, we could be working at 1 a.m. or sleeping until 10 a.m.
Yep. Doesn't matter, man.
Because you got your kids at home.
But that's that's so different. I mean, when your parents were not entrepreneurs and you don't really know any entrepreneurs and you're in a job your whole life, you really don't know that's, and I hate to sound stupid, but that's what I was at 35 years old. I didn't even know that you could go do whatever kind of it is that you want to do with your life and really have control and freedom. So I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I know that book is really, a lot of people read that and Think and Grow Rich, and they attribute those two books, especially to their knowledge in the entrepreneurial world. But Rich Dad, Poor Dad really did have a significant impact on me. I went and bought my first duplex with a credit card, oddly enough. And within 60 days of reading that book, I started buying up real estate with no money down, all this stuff. And I was just in a lot of pain, man. I wanted to be a dad, I didn't want to be a CEO. I didn't want to be a CFO. I just wanted to be a dad. My dad left my mom to raise 8 kids by herself. And I met him for the first time 3 years ago. And I just never wanted to be that guy. I just wanted to, it's so simple. It's so stupid. It's so simple. It takes us forever to figure out what we really want to do with our life. And by the time most of us figured out, we don't have the energy or the drive to do it. And fortunately at 35, I started to figure out that, God, I don't want a job, man. I just don't want a job. I don't want to report to anybody. And I was in so much pain. And I think that's where a lot of greatness and inspiration comes from, is when you're in a lot of pain and you're honest with yourself and you let the ego go. Because I had a huge flipping ego. I still do have an ego, but not as big as I used to.
Imagine. I can't imagine. I'd say it isn't so. It's not possible.
So pain was what caused it to happen. I just wanted to be a dad. I just wanted to be there for my girls,
Yeah, well, and this has really been put to the test for you. You've got a lovely wife. And about a year ago, before stuff started happening, you had 2 lovely daughters, and then
3.
Your 3rd daughter was born.
4th.
Right? Oh, your 4th daughter. So, man, you are outnumbered.
Got a lot of girls. Got two female border collies too, man. But no.
Good grief. So your 4th daughter was born, and what day was she born on?
August 17th, 2014, almost a little over a year ago.
And gang, when she was born, born full term. She wasn't born a month early. She wasn't born 2 months early. Sam, how early was she born?
She was born 24 weeks. So she was born 4 months prior to her due date. There she is right there, baby Susan. About that picture right there, God, it's her about a week old.
A week old. And to give you a sense of perspective of what she was at 25 weeks, here is...
Yep, it's Angela right there holding her. Yep, that's the first time my wife had a chance to hold her.
So... we'll go ahead and spoil the ending now and say,
thank you.
Miraculously, your daughter Susan just celebrated her first birthday.
Yeah, she came home, man. Thanks. She came home 221 days in the hospital, a lot of tubes, a lot of monitors. She's still on a ventilator, not all the time, though. She had a tracheostomy tube put in her throat to be able to breathe. What she has is she has chronic lung disease. And so, yep, there she is right there with her tracheostomy tube. That picture was probably she was 9 months old there. Mm-hmm. She's always smiling, man. She's always smiling. But she breathes through a trach tube. She's on a ventilator. She'll probably be on her trach tube for at least till her third birthday. There's our entire family there, all of my girls. Yeah. And you know what's wild, man? It's like, first of all, when she was born, we were told that she would have, first of all, probably won't live past a couple of days. They brought my wife down at midnight, her second day there, and said, let's just say goodbye to her now. And, that she made it through one more day and the whole one more breath. And that's kind of where that movement came from. We just wanted her to just take one more breath. But, she ended up, defying the odds of making it just a few days. And then she had a hole in her heart called a PDA, and that miraculously closed. That does not close. Usually it takes surgery. Only 25% of the time it closes. All these things just happened. Brain bleeds went away and all this stuff. And now I'll tell you what, Joel, God willing, man, she's going to be a normal 5-year-old girl playing on the playground with her friends with no trach tube, no ventilator. She has chronic lung disease. It just takes time to grow lungs of a baby who was born. That's usually the last thing that develops in the human body is the lungs, and they need all of that amniotic fluid from the mother. That's the main purpose of amniotic fluid, is to develop the lungs in the baby. And she didn't get much of that. After 24 weeks, it was over. So she's upstairs right now playing with her sisters, and it's a hoot, man, having her home. She's in the hospital 221 days though, and it was a long time, man.
Take us back, create for us what it felt and looked like there when she was born, and you really expected that we're going to have her for a very short time.
Yeah, it sucked. It just did. I don't know any other way to talk about it. It's just, we lost a baby boy at 20 weeks back in 2000, Matthew, and we had to, deliver Matthew, have him baptized with our Catholic faith, and then give him back. So we've had 3 great pregnancies. Angela was full term on all 3. And now with Susan, it was just Angela was on bed rest for 6 weeks before Susan was delivered. So it wasn't a shock. We were prepared for the worst because we had been told that the worst is probably going to happen. We were just trying to keep Susan not coming into the world until she was at least 23 weeks, because there's really no viability in the human body prior to 23 weeks. And so if we could just get her to 23 weeks, we had a chance. Not a good one. I mean, all we wanted was a chance. We'll take cerebral palsy. We'll take a profound neurological disorder. We'll take the vegetative state, just give us a baby that, we can love and hold. And, when Angela, I was going through the Dunkin' Donuts, Angela was on bed rest, and then she went to UC Medical Center because her water broke at 23 weeks. And so she was in UC Medical Center for a week. I was going through the Dunkin' Donuts drive-through, and she sent me a text saying, we're delivering at 10 o'clock. And it was 8:30. This was August 17th last year.
Because everybody likes donuts before having a baby.
Yeah, and I got 3 kids, man. I have no help. We don't have parents. We don't have, family that live in I got no help. It's just me. We're raising my kids when Angela's in the hospital. So I just texted the neighbors and I said, hey, I need you to take my kids. Just take them. And I'll tell you what, man, I was drained. I was exhausted. I'm a pretty upbeat guy, but I was just so tired. And Angela was so tired. And we've been going through this for 8 weeks straight. And so I pawned the kids off on the neighbor. I hauled ass down to UC Medical Center. I met Angela in the room, and, we didn't even know we looked at each other and we were just, I go, how you doing? She goes, I'm doing great. I feel good, but the baby's not doing well. I said, what do I say? I mean, typically a guy, it's so awkward because we don't deliver the baby, it's like,
right. What do
we
we
just want to be there to support. And so they wheeled her down, they did a C-section, and they said, hey, congratulations, Dad. And it felt weird, man, because I didn't feel like a dad. I felt like because we had been through this with Matthew, our other boy who died. And I felt like we were delivering a death is what I felt like. They were going to bring her into the other room. That baby right there, she's going to take a couple breaths and she was going to die, and I was a puddle, man. I was a mess. And then all these neurosurgeons and doctors are there and they're like, well, she doesn't look good. It's not looking good. And I'm like, oh God. And I'm right now, man, I'm like, it's outside of my body. And I'm not really a drama guy. I don't really thrive on drama, but it was very dramatical to be in that room with those doctors. And then they brought Susan to ICU and started putting stuff down her throat. And, she weighed 1 pound and she was given 1 milliliter of breast milk. And, from there, she took 2 milliliters, 3 milliliters. Now she takes 175 milliliters 5 times a day, and it's just, I'll tell you what, we stood on our faith, and I'm not here to bring anybody and convert anybody. That's not my goal today. But it was completely out of our control, Joel. There's nothing you can do. Right. UC Medical Center and Cincinnati Children's Hospital. Cincinnati Children's is the 3rd best children's medical center in the U.S. And you just leave it up to them. And we left it in God's hands. And we said, hey, there's nothing we can do but pray at this point. And we had people all around Facebook praying, and it was tough, man. It was very difficult. But then we had our 3 girls at home that we still had to be parents to. And again, we have no family to help out here. So we were just shuttling back and forth. And I'm a speaker, as you mentioned. So, I don't speak. I don't get paid. I don't create products. I don't market on the internet. So you got the pressure of earning income. And when you go through challenges like this, the socioeconomic, discrepancies are so large because there's African-American, Latino, white, Asian, all shapes and sizes with these preemie babies in the NICU, all praying that, their baby makes it. And you know what? Once a day, man, they'd wheel a baby out of there that took their last breath. And, we were just hoping the music wouldn't stop with our baby. And there's just such the healthcare system and people that go to jobs. I mean, I don't have a job, man. So I could be there with Angela every freaking day. We were there for 221 days. If there's ever a testimony to becoming an entrepreneur, that's it, because you can be there for your family. It ain't about the money. It's a freaking money. I need money. You don't need money, man. You need time to create memories in your life and your business so you can be there for your loved ones when they really need you. That's why you become an entrepreneur for the freedom that it gives you,
Absolutely. And you really, this was very public. And we got a little echo there, Sam. I don't know if it's your speakers that were.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There. If you have a headset and you want to plug it in, that might be prove useful.
I don't.
Okay. I'll just turn down your speakers a little bit and
okay.
We should be good. So this played out daily on Facebook because you didn't know, if that day was going to be the last day. And you're right. All you could do is pray and hope that she would that she would survive. But every day you're posting pictures and you're sharing stories and you're talking about the awesome doctors and the hospital staff. And occasionally there were some issues that came up that you were pretty public with, that things that you weren't happy about. You remember that?
Oh, look, dude. I mean, how much time we got?
Well, give us a brief snip of how you used social media in a constructive way.
Yeah, we didn't get the best of care in Children's Hospital, and not from the doctors. Is the echo still here, by the way, or has it gotten a little better?
I think you're a little better.
Okay. Nurses. My mom was a nurse forever. She raised 8 kids on welfare being a nurse. I have the tremendous amount of respect for nurses. We got from some of the nurses some really poor care, and it got to the point where it was getting so bad, Joel, that we thought our baby's life was in danger after we got the tracheostomy tube put in, after we had crossed all these hurdles, after we had basically got her from 1 pound to 12 to 13 pounds. And, look, nurses are like any other profession, man, like doctors or plumbers or mortgage companies or whatever. If they don't have the passion, a waiter or a waitress, you go to a restaurant and they're not passionate about delivering great service, you're just never going to get great service, And when we had some nurses, man, they could not have cared less about our baby. And I'm telling you, Joel, we let it go. We let it go because we said, well, we just want to get Susan out. It turned to the point where I finally had to post on Facebook because Susan's tracheostomy ties need to be changed out daily. They weren't being changed out. And not only weren't being changed out, when they weren't even being recorded. She was lying in her own dirty diaper for hours and hours and hours at a time, soiled linens. And we're like, guys, this is unacceptable. They would tell us, hey, when you get this baby home, you got to make sure that you take care of her and change her trach ties and all this stuff. And, we're like, screw it. I went on Facebook because finally I had one of the VPs of Children's Hospital involved in the situation, and names aren't important. And I'm not even here to embarrass anybody. It's not like I wanted to call anybody out, and I never used anybody's name but every now and again, 95% of the posts were positive on Facebook. 1% of the time, 5% of the time I would post something negative because it needed to be said. You need to look, see something, say something, right? Or nothing's ever going to change. And You need to be an advocate. And we're an advocate now for this neonatal preemie movement, the one more breath movement. And so I was appalled. I was on the treadmill at the gym and I get a text message because they fed Susan the wrong way and they gave her a upset stomach. She vomited everywhere. They didn't just follow the simple instructions, just feeding. I mean, you can't get much simple. My daughters can feed my other daughter now. A 10-year-old daughter can feed her. And so, the VP said, oh, Sam, she sends me a text message that says, oh, Sam, now my nurses are afraid of ending up, they're watching your Facebook page. They don't want to be the next victim on your Facebook page. And I read the text twice. I still got it, man. I still got the text because it's in our book that we're writing. And I said, the least of your worries should be my Facebook page. Why are you looking at my Facebook page? Is that even allowed in Children's Hospital? Number one. And number two, even if I called you everything on my Facebook page, you need to focus on that 12-pound miracle lying in that bed without her parents. We're there 6 hours a day. That's 18 hours a day. We can't be with our daughter. And you're looking at my Facebook page? What are you freaking kidding me? And I went off, man. And I actually was very diplomatic. And I still to the last minute, man, I gave these people the diplomacy and I gave them the respect that they really didn't deserve. But boy, I'll tell you what, man, you are at the mercy. When you go into the healthcare system here in the United States, you're at the mercy of whether an individual makes the decision of whether or not they want to give your loved one excellent care or shitty care. And if they choose to give them excellent care, good for you. If they go the other way, you're in a lot of trouble because it's not the doctors, man. The doctors are amazing, but you know what? The interaction with your child or your loved one with a doctor is infinitesimal compared to the interaction of the nursing staff with your loved one. And I'll tell you, man, I get fired up when I talk about this because another thing, Joel, 90% of the kids in that unit that our daughter was in don't get regular visits from their family. They do not get they lie in those beds. Some have to be adopted by the state of Ohio because their families have abandoned them. I mean, you get so fired up. I mean, you could literally cry just talking about this topic. And the nurses, some of them could not possibly care less that this is going on. They just want their paycheck. They want to punch the clock. And they want to get the hell out of there. Well, you know what?
Why they kind of messed with it in the first place. Why are they in the profession in the first place?
Because they joined 25 years ago or 10 years ago because they needed a job like everybody else. And they thought this would be nice because I know somebody else that's a nurse and they seem to like what they do. And I can handle blood and I kind of like, and you know what, Joel? After the newness wears off in about 3 years, they're like everybody else that goes into a job. They're bitching and moaning and they're saying this isn't right. And I know, look, let me tell you something. I get the nursing profession. It's stressful. They can be overworked. Let me, before the comments or anything come into the situation about how nurses are overworked, one nurse was accountable for 2 children in a 12-hour shift. That's it. And one of them was ours. Once we started demanding excellent service, that shifted to one-on-one care. And with one-on-one care, they still could not execute at a high level with our daughter. And I'm not even talking high level. I'm talking we would have accepted mediocre care that we weren't getting.
Well, I'm glad that you took it public like you did. I'm glad that people responded to it. And we've been following you on your journey now. And of course, baby Susan turned a year old. And what this has done for you is created a compassion for others who are dealing with a premature birth and helping them through it. And that's what the One More Breath campaign is all about. Go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah, the One More Breath campaign, like I said, it started because we wanted Susan to take one more breath. And then once Susan was kind of in the clear a little bit, we needed to take one more breath. You know what's funny? Everybody goes through a struggle. And my wife and I have this saying, somebody's got it worse. Somebody's got it worse. We just jumped up and down because, Joel, if you could see the kids in these units, and look, picture a 90-year-old, your father, your mother, somebody, a grandfather, grandmother, lying in a nursing home, not being cared for. I mean, we needed to be the voice for these children, and nobody else was going to step up and do it. And I think God called our family to go through this trial to be the voice. I wish I could tell you that, parallel while all this was going on, I was developing the amazing website and the movement and the nonprofit and everything like that. We will get all of that up and running. Our book will be out. You and I have talked about the book several times. So the book will be out in the spring of 2016, really chronicling this entire journey. And the whole One More Breath movement is, look, how do we, whatever struggle people are going through right now, whether it's financial, whether it's relationship wise, I'm so far from perfect. Not that I have all the answers. I probably don't have any, but what I will tell you is I got a lot of passion, and I'm not that sharp. I got about 20 college credits. Most are gym and health class, but I'll figure stuff out, and I'll figure out this One More Breath thing. And you know what I want to do? If you're in pain right now, if you're watching this blab, understand that your best days haven't even happened yet. And that's what the whole One More Breath movement is about. It's about taking the passion that you have inside, saying the hell with the money, the hell with the nice car, the hell with the nice house, and everything that we got to live up to as a society, and focusing on the people that you really love, because we're not sending a holiday card with a picture of our bank account. Okay. We're sending about the memories we created in 2015 and beyond, and understand that, all we want to do as a society is to take one more breath, and we want to make that breath count. And our daughter, Susan, fights every freaking day to take as many breaths as she can take so she can expand her lungs. And who the hell are we to have the audacity to complain that we don't have it good? We got aches and pains when we got a baby who is fighting for her life every single day we wake up. That ventilator kicks on, man. And that's the constant reminder that we need to take one more positive breath and do something. Just do anything to contribute to society.
Sam, take a breath. Great story. You're at the Joel Comm Show with my special guest, Sam Crowley of the podcast Every Day is Saturday, and the campaign One More Breath. Hey, Sam, is Susan awake or is she napping?
Let me just text Angela, see if she's up there.
I would love to have a special guest, even more special than yourself, to see baby Susan come on and join us. And while we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and open up the seats, and would love for those of you that are here in the room to come on in and meet Sam. And if you have questions, and we'll try and rotate them here through so that everybody who wants to can jump on and say hello. Sam, what are you thinking of this Blab platform?
I love it, man. I love it. I love this stuff. Like, how do I get more of it? What do I do?
Right. Yeah, you just start your own blabs. Hey, Jocelyn, you got your Do Good Stuff shirt on.
I do. Can you hear me?
Yeah, very well. You look great. Say hi to Sam.
Hi, Sam. How are you? I love your story.
Hey, Jocelyn. Thanks. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
Do you have a question for Sam?
I'm trying to think. I did see somebody else had asked one on there that he was wondering if the One More Breath was just for children because he's a lung disease advocate. And from what I've been hearing, I think this is for everyone.
It is. It's a universal message. It's spawned from our daughter Susan and her journey, but it's a universal message for everybody, young and old, wherever you are. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Jocelyn. Appreciate you watching. And we're going to welcome Bill because he is a lung disease advocate.
Cool.
And I think he's going to have a little something to say. Hey, Bill, how are you?
I'm doing great. I have actually a lot more questions and something to ask. And I love the name One More Breath because it resonates for me with lots of reasons. And Joel, basically, when you started this whole movement, which I understand it's something that you have a personal stake in and a personal passion, but what was your thought process? What were some of the steps you went through to gain traction on social media? What's the end game for this? Is it going to be a foundation? Is it going to be a not-for-profit? What is it?
You want me to answer the foundation part?
All of it, please.
Yeah.
Answer all the questions, Sam. Go.
Let me take them back to front first. So yes, we're working with a foundation. Setting up a foundation in the state of Ohio takes time. And so we are in the process of getting those papers moving in the right direction, put it that way. And our goal is really this, Bill. It's to help. Susan just entered. Hold on one second, because we're kind of on borrowed time. I'll get this. Come here, hon. Let me see.
Oh, great. We have a special guest.
Hello. Say hello. There she is.
Oh, hi, Susan.
Can you say hi, honey? Oh, yeah, that's the microphone. That's the microphone.
Look at that face.
This is her trach tube that she breathes from. And this is a little barrel that acts as a filter. When you take this off, her airway is right here. So that's how she breathes right there. And so you and I breathe through our mouth, but she doesn't have a developed airway enough. So the air cannot get from her mouth down to her lungs. So it goes right through her trach tube right there. Angela and I change out these ties. The trach stays on by these ties in the back right here. Mm-hmm. And you probably can't, there they are right there.
Yeah.
And we change those out daily. And then we replace her tracheostomy tube every 2 weeks. We literally take this tube out from her trachea and we put a new one in. And yeah, there she is, fired up.
I got to get a screenshot of that. Susan.
There she is. So there's our miracle baby. And if you could, that photo, and the other one, Bill, the message that's behind this is that miracles really do happen, And the message that we've been talking about, as cliche as that may sound, I haven't been involved in many miracles like this in my life. I can say I haven't really been involved in a lot of them. And the message of One More Breath is simply this, that miracles can happen for you, with you, if you stand in faith. And I think, right, wrong, or indifferent, that's where we're going with the One More Breath message, is to help people in communities all around the world. And yeah, to help advance neonatal science as well. You know why, Bill? Because our neonatologist told us that 20 years ago, this wasn't even possible, getting a baby from 1 pound to where she is right now. So there's a lot of avenues we're going to go down. I don't have all the answers. I mean, I would love to give gift baskets to people that are in the NICU, just something simple like that. I would love to pay for surgeries for people in Central America to come up and have tracheostomies done. I mean, people that can't afford it. 50% of the airway surgeries that are done in the world are done at Cincinnati Children's Hospital. That are done on kids, and 50% of the people also are not even in the United States that come here. There's so many tentacles to this message and this story, and so many people we can help out. It's overwhelming if you think about it in that respect, but if we just focus on one baby at a time, she's going to rip my microphone off.
What is the prognosis?
Prognosis is full recovery by age 5. So no tracheostomy tube, nothing. She'll have she still has a partially deflated lung in her left lung right now, but she has chronic lung disease. So it's not really surprising right now. But she's off her ventilator all the time now, full time, all day long, with the exception of naps. And when she's sleeping at night, she needs her ventilator as well.
Have you tried to partner with anybody like the American Lung Association or many of the other groups that are out there that focus on lung disease?
Well, not now, because she's in the best hands she could. Here, we got to get her suctioned right now.
Bye, Susan.
Yeah, bye, honey.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
What a smile. What?
Madeline just texted me, by the way.
Oh, my gosh. She was just like melting our hearts with that smile.
Yeah. Are you here? She said, Madeline's texting me saying, are you here? I'm just talking. Yep, 6:15. Hilarious. My 14-year-old's at homecoming tonight. That's a whole nother issue.
Well, the reason for my question is I'm one of 200,000 patients that have a disease called IPF, or idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, which my guess is 9 out of 10 of your audience has never come in contact with. They give you a very fast snapshot. It's a terminal disease. The average patient lives about 3 to 5 years after diagnosis. There's roughly 50,000 new patients a year, 42,000 die a year. There is no cure, no hope, no drug, nothing except for lung transplant, which only a little better than 2% of all patients receive. So it's one of those diseases, you get it, you die. I'm technically right now 1 year past my expiration date. So I'm an activist, an advocate, and I get involved. What you're doing is doubly interesting to me. Yeah. I'm not sure where I can help you if I can, because I think what the story about Susan is it's inspirational for lots of people on lots of levels. But I think you're at a pivotal point right now where you can influence good for many people. Yeah. Not children. And my heart goes out. It's like cystic fibrosis. It's also a terrible, terrible disease. Yeah. And, you think of cystic fibrosis, you immediately think of a child, which is good. What you're talking about with Susan may not be just for tracks and tracheotomies, but I think it probably has a play for a much broader audience. So I compliment you on what you're doing. And that was my interest in what you were talking about, because we have a couple of different foundations I'm involved to personally, but there's so much open area of opportunity to help. Yeah, you're right. I would love to lend my message to anyone, because right now it takes a lot of work to get a foundation off the ground, and at least in the state of Ohio. We're looking still at another year, possibly longer, until the papers get approved. I wouldn't mind aligning with an existing foundation to speak for them and represent them in the form of this type of message. So if there's any type of synergy there, Bill, you can email me, sam@everydayissaturday.com, or you can hit me up on Facebook. Sure. That's cool.
Excellent. Hey, thanks a lot, Bill.
Facebook for us has been a tremendous vehicle, not only to raise awareness, but to structure engagement. Yeah. In 1 month's time, I've managed to attract 400 patients, which is very significant when you think of the number of patients and those that are actually online. And I'm sure you'll find the same thing. I've identified 200,000 patients. Only 10,000 are in line in some form or fashion. So for us to gather 400 patients, pulmonary fibrosis patients, in a 3-week window of time is significant. Yeah. But now we're looking, well, how do we leverage that, and how do we not just make noise about it, but how do we actually reach out to others on a peer relationship basis, a mentoring relationship, and help them?
Well, thanks, Bill. Appreciate your questions, your input. Sam@everydayissaturday.com. And, of course, follow him on Facebook as well. And I hope you guys will connect. Dr. Vogelman, you made it. How are you?
Finally, yeah.
Hey, he looks familiar.
Technical difficulties, yes. I wanted to say, Sam, I mean, one of the things that has really struck me about the whole story that you've shared with baby Susan is the incredible transparency and authenticity. I mean, it's something that goes far beyond what most people would ever feel comfortable sharing on social media.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I put myself out there. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. But in this situation, man, once you're in for a penny, you're in for a pound. It's like you can't unring the bell. Once you tell somebody you had a baby at 24 weeks, you either go off social media and go, in the witness protection program, or you put it out. Because look, you know what, Dr. V, if I don't share my story, I can't tell you the messages I've gotten and the inboxes and tweets from people that are like, God, I mean, somebody else out there gets it. Somebody else understands this, not even with neonatal, just with any type of hardship they're going through. That's why it's I just threw it all out there, man, warts and all, and people take the good, harvest the best, and forget the rest, Yeah.
Can you also speak to your experience on Kickstarter and raising money for the documentary film? Because that's something I'm still curious about, and I'm sure other people would like to know about.
Yeah, we launched a Kickstarter campaign, great question, back in May timeframe to try to fund a documentary film about One More Breath. We fell short. We had a $50,000 goal. We fell, I don't know, maybe 30 grand short, maybe more. We put it up very quickly, and we tried to get a good groundswell. We had a lot of great people behind it. But if I were to do it all over again, I probably would have waited, until I had all of the advertising, all of the groundswell. It's like a product launch. I probably would have waited a year, to be honest with you, before I did it. And I may do it again. but I'm not a Kickstarter expert. So we had a great movie. We had a great trailer movie, about 5 minutes long, with my wife and I, and pictures of baby Susan, but it just didn't capture the hearts in May at that point in time, just because I don't think we had enough. We just didn't think we had enough ammunition. So I would definitely plan a Kickstarter very well before launching it, because it's it's an all or nothing campaign. It's not like GoFundMe. You can't take the funds out as you're going. You got to either get the whole thing funded or you get nothing.
Well, maybe when, as the book gets ready to come out, you can take a look again at doing a tie-in. Dr. Vogelman, what kind of doctor are you?
Chiropractor for 27 years in D.C. I moved to Coronado, California back in November to marry the love of my life. And Sam has been helping me brand Dr. Fun.
Dr. Fun. He is.
Yeah.
I need an adjustment. Can you just
I can do a checkup from the neck up with no problem.
In my neck and my attitude. Well, appreciate you jumping on. So
all right. Thanks so much.
See you, Dr. V.
Sam, talk a little bit about, besides your email, which you just gave out, where you'd like people to go on the web to learn more about you.
Well, the best place is always everydayissaturday.com. I'm a marketer, so if you put your email address in, expect to get a few marketing emails. But what I try to do, though, is be as authentic as I am on this blab, also in my emails. And I find that in marketing, Joel. I know you feel the same way. I really like to just talk to people online like I talk to them in the grocery store. If I see in the produce section, hey, what's up? The same way I send emails to people to give them an opportunity to, I teach podcasting, and I got a speaker training, the Speaker Success Vault, that I train people how to sell from stage. And then the rest of the time, sharing stages with guys like you and traveling a little bit. But I really, I've embraced this at-home dad type thing. I'm a real estate investor as well. So I think I'm going to cut back the travel, the speaking part of my life. I'm going to spend more time on my speaker training that I train speakers on the internet, and dive into what's going on with these kids, man, because you get one shot,
What's the website for your speaker training?
Go to speakersuccessvault.com. I'll tell you what, we send everybody through the webinar, so you can go there, Speaker Success Vault, but that's an order page. Go to speakerwebinar.com. Every Wednesday night at 8:00, I do a new webinar for training.
Fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Sam Crowley, give him a lot of props. We're going to prop bomb you right now, Sam. I'm Blab. That's what happens when
you drop the prop bomb on me.
Props him like crazy. And thank you to those of you joining us on a Saturday afternoon here for the Joel Comm Show. Very appropriate to have Sam here on a day like today, when every day is Saturday. Of course, always happy to have you here. Be sure that you go ahead and subscribe. You do that simply by clicking on the little silhouettes there next to our name, and letting people, that way we can let you know when we have a new broadcast coming up over the next week on the Joel Comm Show. Check out this lineup. We've got Perry Marshall, we've got Sue B. Zimmerman, the Instagram expert, and Secured Today coming up on Wednesday, September 9th, none other than Mr. Michael Hyatt. So thanks for tuning in today. Really glad you guys were here. Sam, thank you very much for showing up here on the show. And we will catch you guys next time.